back with more Buffy. This is episode 9 of season 5, and I'm very excited to carry on this season, see what's going to happen next. Last episode I really enjoyed. We got a bit more of insight into Glory, as we found out her name was. Giant snake thing, that was interesting. And then everything with Joyce, and, you know, we were dealing with everyone kind of facing these issues and these problems and threats that they don't understand. And, you know, everyone's kind of at a disadvantage about what to do with all these different problems in their lives. And, yeah, interesting things with Riley as well, the whole letting him get bitten by a vampire and then staking it. There's a lot going on with him, I feel like. And yeah, I'm just intrigued as to where we're taking all of this now and where we go from here. So without further ado, let's get into the next one.
I woke up exhausted. There's really no more exhausted to get.
Oh.
Well, maybe some good news will help.
Tonight I have Mom taken care of to do.
Aww.
Besides, Riley's filling in for me with the others. I'm sure they have everything under control.
Yeah, maybe not. Oh, what good daughters they are, though. Oh. Get on. Yes! Yes!
Oh my God. 2 for 2, badass.
I just did 2 of them. Hey on me. That was pretty cool.
I love her. What are you doing, pal? Record scratch. Yep, that's me.
It's got cup holders and a straw that goes directly into your mouth, and you can fill it with other stuff in there. And somehow, when I was in the store, this seemed like the most important idea. Well, there's the whole part.
Oh, I love her.
Perfect. And I don't even know if I'm going to take that exam.
I'd rip it in half and stick it in bed with me.
What is that thing? There's no data. There's no pictures on this one there.
Oh.
What is the data?
He's woke.
The mental wards book beyond capacity, literally nowhere to put them, so the ones with families are letting him go home. Like his family's gonna be able to take care of him. He has to have someone watch him 24/7.
Well, that's still very true to life.
No, it's weird.
No.
Little pile of crackers. That was a bit of a stretch. You do it. What would you call
This is sweet.
that one? Let's see.
How could I not approve of someone who wants to show below the stars?
A huge flame of meteor about to crush into something.
What was that? Oh.
I can't stay here waiting for 2 days for this operation. I just can't. It makes
You would drive me mad.
to be here. Can't you tell that?
Joyce, there's no reason to get
I've
upset.
only stayed one
To get upset?
night
Oh,
overnight.
I'm sorry, I must just think that
Whoa.
it's because of my brain tumor.
Oh, Joyce. Oh, it might do us some good to be at home. Oh God, this thing. How is no one seeing that?
I'm not sure, there's something.
So we should explore a bit more. Head into the woods a bit.
Who books research?
Much better like
Yeah.
Oh, could have been some other cases like this. I'm just not great at research, which I'm sure you guys figured out. Like me a good crime scene.
Not part of the group again, still that.
This is it. This is Riley Finn. You have an Agent Miller, Graham Miller. He'll tell you.
Oh, he nearly said agent.
Yes. Emergency frequency.
Oh boy. That's horrible. Yeah. Oh. Disgusting.
Why don't you take your girls home now?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your help.
Just want to give her a hug. And keep her away from that weird thing on the ceiling. Oh boy. Oh boy. This lot again. It makes sense for him though, doesn't it, to like call the group that he's kind of more, you know, in tune with.
Shouldn't be too much background gamma noise out here. Break him out.
So he's like kind of with all the ideas with this lot, as opposed to like with the Scoobies.
You shouldn't eat anymore. You're disgustingly fat. Oh, Buffy, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh
You just need some rest.
this is so sad. Like, oh, the fact that this actually happens to people as well is just, ugh, how fucked up is life.
You're nothing. You're a shadow. Mom, I don't know what you are. How you got here? Mom,
Oh,
it's Dawn. Dawn, honey, what's wrong?
no.
People. They keep saying weird stuff about me. Are you talking about the man in the hospital?
Yeah,
Tell me a thing, too.
it wasn't just him though.
It would appear that the world is not being invaded.
I'm pretty pleased about that. Guys, I've got some stuff. Who summoned it?
Who else? My money's on Glory,
Glory.
our resident beastie summoner.
Where's she
Maybe.
from, Buffy?
A Queller demon?
Yeah, that's our purpose.
Old Quella.
Scavenger that can be...
Why are you staring at me like that?
What are you asking? You are asking me.
It's a demon there. Oh my god.
Stop staring at me. I don't like it.
Ah. Why does it look like a Pokemon? Go on, Dawn. Yeah. Oh, poor Joyce. Oh, hello. Joyce has been through enough, you little bitch. Oh, oh.
Spike?
Yeah. Listen, did you hear a noise?
What the hell are you doing in my house?
Right then. Call me. Your basement's full of junk, and me being in need of junk.
You were stealing?
Well, yeah. I'm exactly what the Count of Burger Barn
Wait,
can I?
those pictures of me?
Oh, God. Ah. Teamwork. Oh. Gross little shit. Go back to Mars. Oh. Oh, she's not going to be happy. Riley's going to see Spike there with Buffy. Ah.
It's strange. A body might ask what exactly
Oh.
it is you think you're doing. I just want to understand, why summon the Queller?
What do you think? Because I'm cleaning up Glory's mess. Just like I've done my whole damn life.
I knew he was shady. Kept giving him focus unnecessarily. Not so unnecessarily now. Ah! Fucking Ben.
The Dawn. She's not mine, is she?
Oh shit.
I have to know that you'll take care of her, that you'll keep her safe, that you'll love her like I love you.
My sweet, brave Buffy. What would I do without you?
You're sweet and brave. Oh, they're all there for her as well. Oh. Oh, I nearly went the whole episode without going. Fuck. Okay, another really good episode. I really liked that one a lot. This whole story with Joyce, I feel like it's gonna make me cry every episode. Like, it just really hits home. It's very close to home, that story. So that's just gonna get me no matter what, I think. But it's so beautifully done. And yeah, hopefully the operation on Joyce goes fine and demons can stop going after her, which would be nice. But yeah, that whole story, I like that they continue to focus on that. Because it's a very real thing, and that's going to be like an ongoing issue for Buffy and Dawn right now. It's not like, you know, when we had like Angel turning back to Angelus, you know, we had like a big episode focusing on that, and then we get like an episode kind of like Phases, which is still a great episode and important, but it's like focused more on like Oz and his transformation and stuff like that, as opposed to the whole Angelus thing. That's kind of like backseat to that story. But with this, you know, this is Buffy's mum, and it's not like you could have last episode where it's like your mum has a brain tumour, and then they just do, oh, here's a more, you know, somewhat light-hearted, you know, episode focused on like a different monster of the week kind of thing. Let's forget about the brain tumour thing for a while, and let's have like a different episode focusing on a different plot. You can't really do that with something like this. So I'm glad we had another episode really focusing around that. And I think that was a smart move, because it's going to be something that's always going to be on the back of Buffy's mind, you know, until things are like sorted or whatever. With every like fight she has now, I think with like a vampire or something, she in the back of her head she's like, you know, is mum doing okay? No matter what, that's going to be like running through her veins, you know, just as much as any blood would. So yeah, I like that they kind of directly tackled the whole thing with Joyce and the brain tumour, again in the very next episode, and the idea of the demon thing, the old Queller, as I will wonderfully call it, and the design of it was like very creepy, and what it did, and like, all that, like with spitting all over them basically. I don't know. I get what they were trying to do with it, and the fact that it was like almost targeting mentally ill people, because it was like part of this like quelling the madmen or whatever. I can understand all of that. I don't know, something about it just felt kind of weird to me. Maybe it was the fact that it came from outer space, or came from a meteor and stuff. And I know they were kind of saying, you know, oh, demons come from all different, you know, ways and stuff like that, but they haven't really until now, in that way. So I don't know, it just felt a bit weird to me that we had this demon come from outer space, and maybe that's why I was a bit like, huh. But you know, I understood like the thing behind it, and the fact that it was summoned by Ben. You know, I understand why it came and everything like that, and why it's like not the usual occurrence. I don't know, something about it just felt a bit like, I guess it's just not one of the strongest kind of villains we've had, of that strongest demon we've had on the show before. Maybe that's all it is. But yeah, it was kind of weird, but I see what they were going for with it. And it was kind of building to the reveal that Ben is involved with Glory somehow. I knew he was shady. I knew that bastard was shady. They gave him so much screen time sometimes. I was like, why? Like, we had this doctor giving Buffy some advice, and then the very next scene was Ben giving Buffy basically the same advice. And I was like, why is he getting this focus? And I thought maybe it was going to be like another love interest in the mix, but clearly not. So I'm nice to be, you know, it's nice to be surprised in that sense. And I'm intrigued by that now. He's suddenly got quite interesting to me. Like, what is his connection to Glory? Why has he been cleaning up her mess all his life? What does that mean? I'm excited to learn a bit more about that and see what everyone's reaction is going to be when they find out Ben's somehow involved in this and is involved at the hospital. Because that was kind of an interesting twist, and I'm excited to see where they go with all of that, what Ben's connection really is. I'll talk about Spike again, because he was only really in it quite briefly, but he's still, you know, infatuated with Buffy, might be the term really. Taking pictures of Spike, please. Spike, no. They've not got him kind of embroiled in that final little fight, and it was there, I think, to continue to feed Riley's insecurity, because of course he just bursts through the door, and there's Spike and Buffy just like holding hands because he's just helped her up. That's not going to help him. And then in turn, Buffy's going to be like, what the fuck, when Riley comes in with all these like soldiers, triggered from the events of last season. But I'm actually very interested in the whole storyline with Riley, because, you know, last episode he felt quite distanced in that sense. You know, I don't think it was beyond his control almost. He was being like pushed away, and I can understand why he was being pushed away, because Buffy needs to help her mum, stuff like that. But he's also been going about doing stuff on his own, like blowing up all those vampires a couple of episodes back. But now it's getting more so like he's isolating himself purposefully. by saying, oh yeah, I'll stay behind and investigate, and then just calling in these soldier people, because that's what he's familiar with. Those are the people he can work with the best, and he was there like inputting all this stuff into like this investigation, almost leading the charge with these group of soldiers. And obviously I recognised that one guy who was in the initiative with him. At least it wasn't fucking Forrest, that's for sure. And you compare to how he is with the Scoobies and stuff, he was kind of pushing them away himself in this one. It's just continuing that isolation, it's just getting worse and worse and building up for him. And in the last one, you know, he let the vampire kind of bite him and then he slayed it. This one is outright just feeding on him, so I don't know if that's like an addiction he has, or I don't know, it's a way of taking out his frustrations, I'm not sure. But I'm really intrigued into that story, because it's kind of almost been inevitable that Riley's been pushed away like this, ever since he kind of confessed to Xander. I think it was at the end of The Replacement, he was like, but she doesn't love me. I think that was the end of episode 3. And it's just been like this constant thing, and I think they've actually built up to it quite well. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with that, with Riley. And you know, he's always going to fall back on this like soldier lifestyle, I feel like. And he really did like shine in the initiative, and he was like the golden boy. So of course he's always going to want to feel like the golden boy again when Buffy and the Scoobies aren't really giving him that. And I don't think that's really anyone's fault either way, how that's happened. That's just what it is, and that's what Riley is. So that, I found that quite interesting, having all these soldiers and stuff, and hopefully we explore the consequences of that in this episode. I was kind of hoping we'd have another scene near the end with Buffy and Riley, when she was like, why the hell have you called in all these soldiers instead of just working with my friends? So obviously there were a lot more Buffy's friends than Riley's friends, you know? Maybe with the exception of Xander. I feel like Xander and Riley do have a nice little bond, but I don't feel like Riley's as close with anyone else. Maybe Willow to an extent, because they had a bit of bonding when Riley first got interested in Buffy. But you know, he's not as at home with the Scoobies as he is with these soldier boys. So yeah, that was all very interesting, and I'm excited to see where that all goes, what it might lead to. I did enjoy, actually, I mentioned the Willow and Tara scene where they were like just looking at the stars. I know that was kind of a build up to the thing crashing, so they knew what was happening, but it was nice to just have more of a light-hearted scene, and still a very heavy episode, because everything with Joyce and her like having these kind of moments where she's not quite herself, you know, it's all breaking my heart in the worst way, actually, not the best way. Because it's just so sad what everyone's doing. You know, like when Buffy turns up the music and starts crying and she's doing the dishes. Oh, that's so sad and so real. Like, I felt that in my bones. Yeah, I related. And you know, Dawn's struggling to sleep because she's hearing Joyce like say all these things, and she's actually talking to the demon on that one occasion. But you know, they were all really going through it for various different ways. You know, because obviously it was physically affecting Joyce's brain tumour, but you know, that has rippling effects and affects her daughters as well. So yeah, everything that was kind of crazy. But yeah, I enjoyed the Willow and Tara scene because it was just on a light-hearted kind of bit, and a really sweet moment between the two of them that broke up the episode a bit. I think it was nice that we had that. And we also had that in a lot of the Scooby scenes as well, when they were all together and things like that. Because we had a few funny lines. It was just a nice little like exposition break, really, from the heavy stuff, when they kind of pieced together what the demon wanted and stuff like that. And there's also quite early on a little scene with Anya, because I love her more and more and more. But it almost seemed like the scene when they first found the body, it might have been, I think it was, of that guy, and everyone was like leaning over it. There's like a little bit where Anya was like looking at Giles leaning over it, and then she like leant over a bit, like, oh yeah, this is what normal people do, I'm going to do that too. I thought that was a really nice little subtle moment. It didn't really pay a lot of attention to, but I really, really liked that a lot. So that was nice. Seeing the soldiers again should be interesting to see if, yeah, we have like real consequences with that. I feel like they need to address that, and maybe everyone's going to be a bit offended as why did Riley call these people instead of just, you know, helping us. I can see both sides of that though, so it'd be interesting for them to explore it. And then yeah, Dawn kind of broke my heart as well. The fact that all these people have been like saying, "Oh, you don't belong," and seeing her, you know, seeing through this disguise that even she doesn't know about, is interesting. I like how they echoed back to, I think it was episode 2, with that guy outside the magic box, telling her she didn't belong. I like that they kind of tied that into what was going on here, and that was probably almost foreshadowing of this whole, you know, mentally ill patients kind of thing that they were going for with this episode. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. It's sad that, you know, when Dawn kind of, when Joyce even saw through that kind of disguise that Dawn has, being the key, you know, Dawn was like, oh, she just hates me, and she seems to kind of go back to that a lot. A, because she's like a 14-year-old girl, but also because of the truth about her she doesn't even realise, you know. She's just saying, oh, she hates me, and all these people, you know, saying weird things to me, and she's just saying that as like a somewhat insecure 14-year-old girl who doesn't seem to have many friends, which is very sad in itself. But maybe when they made the key a human form, you know, they gave her a family, but they didn't give her any friends, which might be, I don't know, that could be the downfall of it maybe, and that could lead to Glory finding out. Because I don't think we're going to go like the whole season and Glory never finds out that Dawn's a key. She's going to find out at some point, because there's needs to be like a big confrontation over it, but maybe that could be how that happens, I'm not sure. But everything of that, and it just made Dawn quite upset. And I really liked that Buffy was like telling her, you know, don't listen to them. And the scene with both of them at the start with Joyce, like always being by her side, supporting her. I really like the family unit feel that they have with those three going on. Now that this has happened, you know, it's a vast contrast to like episode 2, when Dawn and Buffy were just bickering all the time. So I really liked that a lot. And the bond between the three of them just works so well, and Dawn's only just come about this season. And that final scene I really enjoyed as well, because just before Joyce collapsed, I think for the first time, she looked at Dawn and was like, who are you? So we know she's kind of been able to see through it. And now she's kind of worked it out that Dawn isn't her kid, but she still feels like it's her daughter, so they have a right to protect her anyway. I love that. I love that, you know, family isn't blood. And Joyce clearly believes in that, and made Buffy promise to look after her no matter what. You know, anyone can be a mother, but I think it takes a lot more to be a mum, and I think Joyce is a mum. I love that about her so much, and that final little sequence where she was kind of telling Buffy to look after Dawn and everything, even though she knows that it's not actually her daughter. I love that. It says a lot about who she is, and maybe what she's learned from, you know, when Buffy left at the end of season 2. She knows what life's like without any daughters around, so she probably feels blessed to have 2, even if one of them isn't biologically hers. So I loved all of that, and that when she's going off to have the surgery, like Buffy's there, Dawn's there, and Riley's there, Giles is there, all the Scoobies are there for her. I loved that, because they're all Joyce's family too, in a weird way. Well, not a weird way, but, you know, we've always seen her like look after them when they've been around the house and things like that, getting them snacks and stuff. So it was a nice like redefinition of what family is, like we had in the episode called Family, a few episodes back with Tara. And everyone, you know, Buffy was like saying she's our family when they were telling Tara's family to go fuck themselves, basically, telling the Adams to piss off. Yeah, family just isn't blood, and we're seeing that with Tara, and we saw that with Joyce in this one as well, because they're all her family, even if she's only like blood related to one of them. So I loved everything they kind of said about that. It was a somewhat hopeful ending, hopefully. And yeah, overall, just a really, really good, solid episode. I love that they continue to explore the thing with Joyce, and the stuff with Riley I'm actually finding very, very interesting. The demon, a bit weird, but they did lead to an interesting reveal with Ben that I'm excited to see them explore a bit more of. And I do really like Glory's like assistant guy, so I'm glad we're seeing more of him. And yeah, I'm excited to see where we go from here. But overall, a really, really fun episode. Well, not fun, but a really enjoyable episode, and very, very good stuff with that. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with the next one and beyond for the rest of the season. But the next reaction will be to episode 10 of Buffy. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So until my next reaction, Thanks for watching.